Welcome to Proofless, the true crime podcast that ventures into the shadows of America's most baffling unsolved mysteries. Cases where the evidence is fleeting, the leads are maddeningly inconclusive, and the truth remains tantalizingly out of reach. I'm your host, Anna Berger, and this is the 4th episode of Proofless, where we unravel stories that grip the heart and defy resolution. Today, we're diving into a case that has haunted New Mexico and captivated true crime enthusiasts for over 3 decades. The disappearance of Tara Calico, a 19-year-old college student who vanished during a routine bike ride in 1988. This is a story of a vibrant young woman, a chilling photograph, and a cascade of theories that range from the plausible to the unthinkable. It's a case that has left a family in limbo, a community on edge, and investigators grasping for answers in a sea of speculation. So, settle in, because this journey into the unknown is going to stay with you. Let's travel back to September 20th, 1988 in Belen, New Mexico, a small town about 30 miles south of Albuquerque. Belen is the kind of place where everyone knows each other, where the pace is slow and the landscape is dominated by wide-open deserts, cottonwood-lined rivers, and the distant peaks of the Manzano Mountains. It's a tight-knit community of about 7,000 people, where life revolves around family, school, and local traditions. Tara Calico was a beloved part of this world. At 19, she was a sophomore at the University of New Mexico, studying psychology and dreaming of a career as a psychologist or counselor. She was bright, athletic, and fiercely independent, with a warm smile and a reputation for kindness. Tara was an avid cyclist, often riding her neon-pink Huffy bike along the rural roads near her home to stay fit and clear her mind. She was close to her parents, Patty and David Dole, and her stepfather, John Dole, as well as her younger siblings. To those who knew her, Tara was the epitome of a small-town girl with big dreams. On that fateful Tuesday morning, Tara woke up early, as she often did, to fit in a bike ride before her classes. She planned to ride a familiar 17-mile loop along New Mexico State Road 47, a quiet 2-lane highway that stretched through the desert south of Belen. It was a route she'd ridden countless times, often with her mother, Patty, who had recently stopped cycling due to safety concerns about the isolated road. Tara told Patty she'd be back by noon for a tennis date with her boyfriend, Larry, and asked her mom to pick her up if she wasn't home by then, as her bike had a history of flat tires. Around 9:30 a.m., Tara grabbed her Sony Walkman, slipped on her headphones, and pedaled off on her mother's bike, a bright pink Huffy with yellow control cables, since her own bike had a flat. She waved goodbye to Patty, who watched her disappear down the road, never imagining it would be the last time she'd see her daughter. When Tara didn't return by noon, Patty grew worried. Tara was punctual, and missing her tennis date was out of character. Patty drove along State Road 47, looking for Tara or her bike, but found nothing. She called Larry, who hadn't heard from Tara either, and then contacted the Valencia County Sheriff's Office. By early afternoon, a search was underway. Deputies, volunteers, and Tara's family scoured the highway and surrounding desert, looking for any sign of the young woman or her bike. They found nothing. No bike, no Walkman, no clothing, no trace of Tara. It was as if she'd been erased from the landscape. The sheriff's office initially treated the case as a missing persons investigation, considering the possibility that Tara had an accident or got lost. But the absence of any physical evidence, combined with Tara's familiarity with the route, quickly raised suspicions of foul play. The investigation kicked into high gear. Deputies interviewed residents along State Road 47, hoping someone had seen Tara that morning. Several witnesses came forward with crucial information. A motorist reported seeing Tara riding southbound around 11:45 a.m. near mile marker 27 with a light-colored pickup truck, possibly a Ford or Chevy, following closely behind her. The truck was described as older, possibly from the 1950s or 1960s, with a camper shell. Another witness, a local rancher, said he saw a similar truck in the area around the same time, driven by 2 men. A third witness, a teenager, reported seeing a cyclist matching Tara's description being followed by a pickup truck near the same stretch of road. These sightings were chilling, suggesting that Tara may have been targeted, but the witnesses couldn't provide specific details about the truck's license plate or the driver's appearance, and no one saw what happened next. The Valencia County Sheriff's Office, led by Sheriff Lawrence Romero, expanded the search. Helicopters scanned the desert, dogs sniffed for scents, and volunteers combed the scrubland for miles. The FBI was called in due to the possibility of an abduction across state lines, and agents began interviewing Tara's family, friends, and boyfriend. Larry had an alibi. He was at work in Albuquerque and was quickly ruled out as a suspect. Tara's life seemed remarkably free of conflict. She had no enemies, no history of running away, and no involvement with drugs or crime. Her friends described her as cautious, always aware of her surroundings, especially when cycling alone. The lack of personal motives shifted the focus to a random act, perhaps an opportunistic predator who saw Tara on the isolated highway. 9 months later, in June 1989, the case took a haunting turn. A woman in Port St. Joe, Florida, over 1,500 miles from Belen, found a Polaroid photograph in the parking lot of a convenience store. The image was shocking. It showed a young woman and a boy, both bound with duct tape and lying on what appeared to be a mattress in the back of a van. The woman in the photo bore a striking resemblance to Tara, with similar facial features and body type. The boy, estimated to be around 9 or 10, resembled Michael Henley, another New Mexico child who had vanished in 1988 while camping with his father. The photo was turned over to the Port St. Joe Police Department, who contacted the FBI. The Bradleys were shown the Polaroid, and Patty was convinced it was Tara, noting a scar on the woman's leg that matched one Tara had from a childhood injury. The FBI analyzed the photo but couldn't confirm the identities, as the image was grainy and the subjects' faces were partially obscured by tape. The Polaroid became a cornerstone of the case, sparking national media attention. It appeared on America's Most Wanted and Unsolved Mysteries, generating thousands of tips but no solid leads. Some experts believed the photo was staged, possibly a prank, while others saw it as evidence of abduction or human trafficking. The boy in the photo was later ruled out as Michael Henley when his remains were found in New Mexico in 1990, but the woman's identity remained a mystery. The Polaroid's origin was equally puzzling. The convenience store parking lot where it was found was near a white Toyota cargo van, which a witness saw being driven by a man with a mustache. The van was never located and the man was never identified. The FBI theorized that the photo might have fallen out of the van, but without further evidence, this lead went cold. The investigation explored multiple theories. The pickup truck sightings led to a focus on a possible abduction by locals. Sheriff Romero interviewed dozens of residents, including known troublemakers in Belen, but no one stood out. One person of interest was a man named Lawrence, a local with a history of violence, who owned a pickup truck matching the witnesses' descriptions. Lawrence was questioned but denied involvement, and no evidence linked him to Tara. Another theory suggested Tara was taken by someone passing through, possibly a trucker or transient, given State Road 47's proximity to Interstate 25. The human trafficking angle gained traction after the Polaroid, with investigators noting that New Mexico's highways were known routes for such activity in the 1980s. Some speculated Tara was targeted because of her routine. She rode the same route at the same time daily, making her predictable. Tara's family became relentless advocates. Patty and John Dole appeared on national TV, distributed flyers, and worked with the FBI and private investigators. They offered a $20,000 reward, later increased to $100,000 for information leading to Tara's return. They created a website, TaraCalico.com, to share updates and collect tips. The emotional toll was immense. Patty, who had ridden with Tara for years, blamed herself for not joining her that day. "If I'd been there, maybe this wouldn't have happened," she told Dateline in 1999. David, Tara's biological father, struggled with depression, while her siblings grappled with the loss of their vibrant sister. The family's home became a hub for the investigation, filled with maps, tip logs, and photos of Tara. Over the years, new leads emerged, only to fade. In 1991, a woman in California claimed she saw Tara working as a waitress in a diner. but the sighting was unconfirmed. In 2009, a man in New Mexico came forward, claiming he'd witnessed Tara's abduction as a teenager. He said he saw two men force a cyclist into a pickup truck on State Road 47, but fear kept him silent for years. The FBI investigated but couldn't corroborate his story. In 2013, a task force was formed by the Valencia County Sheriff's Office to re-examine the case using advanced forensics. They tested items found near the highway, a broken Walkman and bike parts, but none were definitively linked to Tara. The Polaroid remains the case's most enduring mystery. In 2019, the FBI used digital enhancement to analyze the photo, concluding that the woman's features were consistent with Tara's, but not conclusive. The scar on the leg was a strong indicator, but without DNA or a clearer image, it wasn't enough. Some theorize the photo was a red herring, unrelated to Tara, while others believe it's proof she was taken alive, possibly sold into trafficking. The trafficking theory is bolstered by New Mexico's history as a corridor for such crimes, but no concrete evidence supports it. Online communities have kept Tara's case alive. Reddit threads and true crime forums dissect the Polaroid, the pickup truck sightings, and the possibility of local involvement. Some users speculate that Tara's disappearance is linked to other missing persons cases in New Mexico, like the 1986 disappearance of Denise Bolzer. Others criticize the initial investigation, arguing that the sheriff's office didn't act quickly enough to secure the highway or interview witnesses. The Doles have praised the FBI's efforts, but remain frustrated by the lack of closure. As of July 2025, Tara Calico's case remains unsolved. The FBI and Valencia County Sheriff's Office maintain active files, and the Doles offer a $100,000 reward. Advances in genetic genealogy offer hope, with the family submitting Tara's DNA to databases like GED Match. Patty, now in her 70s, told People magazine in 2024, "I believe Tara's out there, alive or not, and we won't stop until we know." The case has changed Belen, where residents now view State Road 47 with unease, a reminder of the day a young woman vanished. What happened to Tara Calico? Was she abducted by someone in that pickup truck, taken from the highway in broad daylight? Does the Polaroid hold the key, or is it a cruel distraction? Could she still be alive, trapped in a world we can't imagine, or did her story end that September morning? This case, like all those on Proofless, is defined by its lack of answers, a puzzle with too many missing pieces. That's all for the 4th episode of Proofless. Tara Calico's disappearance is a story of loss, hope, and a family's unbreakable resolve. If you have information, contact the FBI or visit taracalico.com. Share your thoughts on our website or social media, and join us next time for another journey into the unknown. Until then, keep searching for answers,